Hello all, welcome to this lecture session on fluid dynamics part 3. So up till now we have converted all the lectures into a video format in order to understand you very quickly. You can also adjust the speed of the videos. Basically, we have started this our lecture sessions on fluid mechanics and fluid and turbo machinery, and we are up to this fluid dynamics part 3. So my name is Savan Wani. I am assistant professor in Department of Mechanical Engineering in Padma Bhushan Vasantrao Dada Patil Institute of Technology, Budgaon, Sangli. What basically we are doing in this particular lecture sessions is we are converting one by one concepts of fluid mechanics into a particular theory point, and also we are solving the problems based on the various points of the fluid mechanics. So we have completed the points like basics of fluids, then properties of fluids, then we have seen some various laws like Pascal's law, then hydrostatic law of pressure, etc. We have solved some basic problems based on all this. Then we have seen fluid kinematics, where velocity and acceleration of fluid particles were having importance. And then we have entered in fluid dynamics. In that Euler's equation we have seen Bernoulli's equation, then applications of Bernoulli's equation, that is venturimeter. And now today we are going to see the next application of Bernoulli's theorem, that is orifice meter. So let's go for our point of the orifice meter. So this is the diagram of an orifice meter. It is a very important point in the fluid mechanics theory, and in this we will see that there is a pipe. Okay, the pipe is there, which is shown by pink color, and this pipe is fitted with an orifice meter. So this is nothing but a flat circular plate, and when the orifice plate is connected inside the pipe, and the manometer is attached into the sections 1 and 2, then we say that the particular theory of the orifice meter is been applied, and we say that the setup is an orifice meter setup. Okay, so basically you will see that the water is flowing. Just we will take the help of a pointer here, and then we will see that the water is flowing through this particular stream from this end like this, and it is flowing through this particular pipe area. Okay, so this pipe area, through this pipe area the water is flowing like this. So let the sections 1 is there at the inlet of the orifice meter, and section 2 here which is shown is it is a vena contracta section. Okay, so basically from this particular theory we can just observe that the point at which the water is entering here, it is shown by a section 1. So let the area will be A1, or we can say area will be the A1 at the inlet, then velocity will be V1, pressure will be P1. Similarly, A0 will be the area which is of the orifice. This is the area of this orifice, that is this, and A2 is the area at the vena contracta section. So we will explain this, what is the meaning of vena contracta section. So this this flow of water when it is passing through this orifice is in this way, because the water has to go from a very lower surface area. The water will enter in this way like this, and it will be going through this area, that is known as a reduced area for a particular orifice, because orifice is nothing but a value, or we can say a device in which the water is there is a reduction in the area of water flow, and at the same time there will be an increase in the velocity of that particular theory. So in this as the water is flowing through a particular pipe, then this water will be entered through this orifice. Okay, then after some time the water will not initially take the shape of the pipe again. Some distance, that is this distance which is shown from orifice, that is the section 2 distance from orifice, this section is vena contracta section. So what is this vena contracta section now is, from after passing through this orifice, the jet will be diverged from the streamline. Okay, so this diverging of the jet from the streamline is nothing but the vena contracta section. Means the jet, when it starts to diverge from the streamline force, then we say that it is a vena contracta section. So this vena contracta section, when it is there, then it says that the jet is diverging from streamline. So due to that, we have to take into consideration this section 1 and this section 2 to that, which is vena contracta section. So now what will happen is the manometer is connected from section 1 to vena contracta section. So it will give us some difference of the levels of the manometer. So the distance is y, that is the higher level minus lower level always. And now and then when the water will be taking the shape of the pipe again, but it will already absorb some distance. So therefore this distance is lost, that is there is no any water here, or we will say that some swirling nature of water will be observed here. So therefore due to that, the particular water will take the shape of the pipe at this area, and then the water will flow outwards. So what we have to find is how much discharge is flowing through this particular orifice meter, because again, like venturi meter, this orifice meter is also a discharge measuring instrument, or we can say a rate of flow, that is Q value measuring instrument. So therefore this manometer is employed, and the water which is flowing through this orifice meter will give us the particular difference in levels of manometer, because the area is different, and therefore we can say that the flow is been possible. Now if you take into consideration this is a orifice plate, okay, which is shown here. Now I am showing here a orifice plate. This is a orifice plate, and so this is a small opening inside the orifice plate. So whenever there is a small opening, then the orifice is known as a small opening, okay. This small opening is known as orifice, and the water is passing from section 1 to section 2 through this orifice. That is the theory regarding this particular orifice, okay. Now when we will consider this particular orifice, the flow through orifice, then there is a reduction in area, and then we are getting a jet of water. But when this jet of water is diverging from the streamline area, then we can say that the vena contracta section is there, and therefore we can take the flow. So going to the next slide, the theory about this. So orifice meter or orifice plate is a device which is cheaper than venturi meter, is employed for measuring the discharge of a fluid through a pipe. That we have seen that it is a discharge measuring instrument. The same principle is there. It works on the same principle of a venturi meter. Then it consists of a flat circular plate having a circular sharp edged hole, that is called orifice, concentric with the pipe. Now see guys that there is a plate, and in that plate if you drill a hole, then that we can say that it can be used as an orifice. So orifice will not be any circle also. If you drill a square hole, then the orifice will be a square orifice. If you drill a triangular hole inside a plate, then that particular orifice will be a triangular orifice. So the diameter of the orifice may vary from 0.4 to 0.8 times the diameter of pipe, but it is generally taken as 0.5. So as compared to the diameter of the pipe, the orifice diameter is around 0.5 times. So it is 50% of the diameter of the pipe. Then as a differential manometer is connected at sections 1, which is at a distance of 1.5 to 2 times the pipe diameter upstream of the orifice plate, and at section 2, which is at distance of about half the diameter of the orifice from the orifice plate on the downstream side. Means what is the meaning of this sentence is, the vena contracta section means if the diameter of the orifice is suppose 3 centimeter, then the half of the diameter of orifice, means if diameter of orifice is 3 centimeter, consider this value, then vena contracta section will be half of that 3 centimeter, means what, 1.5 centimeter from the orifice. So therefore the vena contracta section is observed there. So consider area of pipe at section 1 is A1, then V1 is velocity at section 1, and P1 is the pressure at section 1, and similarly these A2, V2 and P2 are the corresponding values at section 2. Then consider the solution now for the derivation now. So always see as these type of systems are applications of Bernoulli's equation. So first always consider a Bernoulli's equation. So applying Bernoulli's equation at sections 1 and 2 we get, so now we are getting the Bernoulli's equation. So we will just consider with a marker here so that it will be easy for us to understand. Yes, so now as the Bernoulli equation is P1 by W plus V1 square by 2G plus Z1, that is this at section 1, then at section 2, this equation is P2 by W plus V2 square by 2G plus Z2. This is for the ideal fluids. So the Bernoulli equation is this way. Now what we are doing is we are considering this P1 by W plus Z1 on one side. So P1 by W plus Z1 minus P2 by W plus Z2, because these are taken here at this side and velocity values are taken at right hand side. So we get P1 by W plus Z1 minus P2 by W plus Z2 is equal to V2 square by 2G minus V1 square by 2G. Okay. So now we know in previous derivation of Venturi meter also we had seen that this value means this whole value is equal to H. So H is equal to V2 square by 2G minus V1 square by 2G. So here it is written, this differential head is nothing but P1 by W plus Z1 minus P2 by W plus Z2. Okay. Then now we are taking the velocity term at this side. So V2 square by 2G is kept as it is, and V2 square by 2G is equal to, now this H will come, V1 minus V1 square by 2G will go in the left hand side. So we get this as H plus V1 square by 2G. So again this V2 square, we want V2 square. So V2 is equal to, now we have taken this 2G here. So this divided by 2G will go in this side and it will become multiplication. So this is under root, because now V2 square was there. So taking square root on both sides. So V2 square root is V2 under root 2G, means this 2G which has gone here, into this H plus V1 square by 2G, that is whole in under square root. So here we will get 2GH. So it is 2GH again. This particular square root of 2G and this square root, we will get only 2G. So under root 2GH plus V1 square. So what we get the value of V2? V2 equal to under root 2GH plus V1 square. Okay. Then going for next step of the derivation. Now at section 2, area is at vena contracta section, and A2 represents the area at vena contracta section. Okay, section 2 is at vena contracta, and what is the area at vena contracta? That is A2. So area at vena contracta section is A2. Okay, just remember this. So if AO, that is if AO is the area of orifice, then we have CC, that is coefficient of contraction, equal to A2 divided by AO. So how this equation is coming here? We want how much contraction of area has been done, which will be the highest area at the particular point. Area of orifice will be highest. So because the water is going to flow through the area of orifice, and when it reaches the vena contracta section, there will be some reduction in the area, and then only the jet will try to just diverge from the streamline. So this A2 is area at vena contracta section, that is of water, and this AO is the area of orifice. Means here we will just draw, I will just draw, this is the stream of water, and here you are having the orifice. Okay, so this is AO, I am writing here, that is AO, and the water which is flowing through this particular orifice, after this it is A2. The diameter area of that jet of water is A2. But now this is nothing but the vena contracta section. So from this vena contracta section, the water is diverging like this. So therefore we have to take this area, and this area of water will naturally be just lower. Means if the area of orifice is 3 centimeter, then this area, that is vena contracta section area, will be 2.98 centimeter. Okay, that is a very reduction in area. So this value of coefficient of contraction we require. So this we can directly say it will be CC equal to A2 by A0. So just taking all these sides, A2 is equal to A0 into CC. By above step we can write A2 equal to A0 into CC. Now using continuity equation, now what we have continuity equation as, we are having continuity equation as A1 A2 A1 V1 is equal to A2 V2. So therefore what will be, just rearranging this equation, we get V1 equal to A2 into V2 by A1. Just rearranging this equation of continuity. So V1 equal to A2 V2 by A1. So therefore V1 equal to, Now what we can write for A2? We can write for A2 as A naught Cc. So A naught Cc into this V2 divided by A1. So V1 equal to A naught Cc V2 divided by A1. Now substituting the value of V1 in this equation. Now see, in last slide we have derived this equation of V2 is equal to under root 2gh plus V1 square. Okay, so this V1 square value will be replaced by this whole value of equation number 3. So what we get is V2 is equal to under root 2gh plus, now instead of V1 square what we can write, A naught square Cc square V2 square divided by A1 square. So this is the point. In this coefficient of contraction is very, very important. Going for next step in the derivation. Here now what we get is, we are removing the under root sign again. Okay, so therefore we can get here V2 square as usual again. Under root 2gh will be 2gh, then A naught by A1 bracket square, Cc square, here it should be Cc, you can write here Cc square into V2 square. Okay, just eliminate these two. Cc square, here it is V2 square, under root 2gh has become now 2gh, A naught square by A1 square. Here instead of this C2 just write Cc, that is coefficient of contraction, it's a typing mistake, into V2 square. So therefore we can also write here as V2 square is, as it is both at both sides you will find V2 square. So V2 square into bracket 1 minus A naught by A1 bracket square into, again here it will be Cc square. So here Cc square is equal to 2gh. So we have kept this 2gh in the right hand corner and V2's terms have been taken in the left hand side. So what we get, V2 equal to under root 2gh divided by under root 1 minus A naught by A1 square into Cc square. But Q is equal to discharge, we require the value of discharge, so discharge is also equal to A2 V2. So again see, A2 V2 will be, again this A2 will be A naught into Cc, which we have taken in the initial equation. So Q is equal to, here Q is equal to A naught Cc, instead of A2 we have taken A naught Cc, and this value of V2 has been inserted here, that is under root 2gh divided by under root 1 minus A naught A1 square Cc square. So therefore this above equation we get it as, we just simplified for the equation for coefficient of discharge. So coefficient of discharge is equal to coefficient of contraction, that is Cc, under root 1 minus A naught by A1 square divided by 1 minus under root 1 minus A naught by A1 bracket square into Cc square. Okay, so see guys, this is nothing but the simplification of the expression. This above equation has been simplified because we know that this coefficient of discharge is ratio of actual discharge to theoretical discharge. So therefore for taking the above equation we get this particular value. Now initially again, if we require the value of coefficient of discharge, for that just again we have simplified. Coefficient of contraction is taken at left hand side. So we get this value as Cd into under root, just the above terms are inverted, under root 1 minus A naught by A1 bracket square into Cc square divided by 1 minus A naught by A1 bracket square. So substituting this value of Cc in the equation, so what we get, this A naught into Cc, the equation is A naught Cc into V2. So Q is equal to A naught into, now what is Cc? Cc is this value. So Cc equal to Cd under root 1 minus A naught by A1 bracket square Cc square divided by under root 1 minus A naught by A1 square into, what is value of V2? This value of V2 is under root 2gh divided by under root 1 minus A naught by A1 bracket square into Cc square. So what we get is, we can cancel this term 1 minus A naught by A1 bracket square Cc square, and this 1 under root 1 minus A naught by A1 square Cc square. They are similar terms. So now we get here as Cd into A naught under root 2gh, that is the numerator terms, divided by under root 1 minus A naught by A1 bracket square. So again, here you can see that this particular value we have just simplified as CD into A naught A1 under root 2GH, because this A1 square has been taken in upward direction. So therefore we get under root A1 square minus A naught square. So here the value we get here as Q is equal to CD into A naught A1 under root 2GH divided by under root A1 square minus A naught square. Now if you refer this same formula is there for Venturi meter. Instead here here it was A1 A2, that is the area at inlet, that is convergent section, and A2 was area at throat section. Here only the change is area at the inlet and area at the orifice, and the other values are same. So Q equal to CD A naught A1 under root 2GH divided by under root A1 square minus A naught square. This is the simplification of the equation for the discharge for the orifice meter. Okay. Then some difference between Venturi meter and orifice meter. Okay, so see the first some point of the theoretical difference. Venturi meter is a device which is inserted in pipeline to measure incompressible flow rates. Then second point is it consists of convergent section which reduces the diameter and diameter to 1/2 to 1/4 of the pipe diameters. This is followed by a divergent section. Then the pressure difference between the position just before Venturi and at the throat of the Venturi is measured by a differential manometer. And then it is working on the basis of the Bernoulli's principle, that is when the velocity head increases in an accelerated flow, there is a corresponding reduction in the piezometric head. Okay. Now the orifice meter, what is orifice meter, which we have seen just, it is an opening, usually round, located in the side wall of the tank or reservoir for measuring the flow of a liquid. The main feature of the orifice meter is that most of the potential energy of the liquid is converted into kinetic energy of the free jet issuing from the orifice. This is nothing but the difference. Then the various main points of the difference. Now what is the difference? There are three main points of the actual difference between Venturi meter and orifice meter. So the first is Venturi meter can be used for measuring the flow rates of all incompressible flows, means the gases also with low pressure variations, whereas orifice meter are only used for measuring the flow rates of liquid. This is the first difference, that Venturi meters are used for measuring the flow rates of incompressible flows, while orifice meters are used for measuring the flow rate of only liquids. Then second, Venturi meter is installed in only pipeline, and the accelerated flow through the apparatus is decelerated to original velocity at outlet of Venturi meter. The flow continues through the pipeline. Then in orifice meter, the entire potential energy of fluid is converted to kinetic energy, and the jet discharges freely into the open atmosphere. Means there is no any necessary that the orifice meter may be connected through pipe also. It can also be connected at the end of a tank, so that the water which is coming outside can be freely discharged to the atmospheric conditions. And last one is, in Venturi meter, the flow velocity is measured by noting the pressure difference between inlet and throat of the Venturi meter, whereas in orifice meter, the discharge velocity is measured by using a pitot tube or by a trajectory method. Means this trajectory method means what? We are predicting that how the water will go or how the water will discharge in the atmosphere when the jet will be diverging from the streamline. So this is nothing but a trajectory method. Okay. Then last point of today's lecture, that is experimental setup for this particular Venturi orifice meter. So here the setup looks like here. In mostly all the systems, you will find that Venturi meter and orifice meter are attached in the same quantity, or we can say in the same setup. So basically this particular setup is having, just we will take one another color, so that this is a reservoir tank. Okay, this is the reservoir tank, and in this the water will be stored, and this water will be pumped with the help of a motor. Okay, we will just show. Yes, so here this is a reservoir tank in which the reservoir is fully filled with water. Then this water is flowing through the pump. This is a pump system. This is a centrifugal pump system. This motor is driving the pump, and therefore the suction is created at this end, and then the pump is delivering the water to the system. So here you will see the water is coming up to this end. Here you will find that a flow control valve is there. Okay, so what will this valve do? This valve will ensure how much liquid we want in this particular setup. Okay, so from this diagram you will observe that this is an orifice meter setup, this is a venturi meter setup. Okay, so in this particularly generally the water will be flown through these two systems. So if you are taking the reading for venturi meter, then open this valve and close this valve. But when you are taking the reading for orifice meter, then open this valve of the orifice meter and close the valve of venturi meter, so that we can measure the actual discharge which is throwing into this tank. Now you will see that the water will be passing from this valve to upper systems. Okay, so we consider that the water is passing through this orifice meter setup, and here when the water is passing through this orifice meter setup, generally the this valve is closed. So now we will just erase all the lines and we will just show the basic lines. The water is flowing through this pipe now, and it is passing through this particular orifice meter setup. Consider that this is an orifice meter, and here you can see these pipes. Okay, these two connections. This is the first connection at this point, and this is the second connection, and these two are connected to a manometer which is shown here. Okay, so we will get the pressure difference of the mercury levels in this, and as the water is flowing here, generally some water is collected in this measuring tank. Okay, so this is a measuring tank. It is having a wall, so that all the water again will be sent to the reservoir tank here. So therefore what will happen is you can see this tube here which is attached to this tank. This is the tube. So this is a piezometric tube. It will give us the head of water, height of water. So what we have to do is we have to find with the equation of the orifice meter that is the Q equation of orifice meter, we can find the theoretical discharge. But for actual discharge we can calculate this particularly this Q actual will be equal to, just writing QA, which is equal to area. So A, what is area now? Area of this collecting tank into height H divided by, this height means height of water in collecting tank divided by time. Okay, so how much time has been required for the water to rise in this collecting tank? This will give us the value of actual discharge. So see, area is in meter square, height is in meter. So meter square into meter is meter cube divided by time. So the unit for the discharge is meter cube per second. So here we get the value in meter cube per second. So this is the way in which we are conducting the experiment. We have to control the flow rate here also, but remember that one care has to be taken that when you are measuring this height of the water in this tank, this wall, that is the outlet wall of this tank, should be closed. As soon as you complete the reading of the particular height, then you should open this tank so that all the water will be going to the reservoir again. Okay, because if you don't open this wall, then there are chances that this measuring tank may be overflowed. Okay, so this is the way in which we perform the experiment. Just I will repeat again. Just see, the water is there in this reservoir. Then from the reservoir the water is pumped with the help of motor and pump system, and this is a control valve. So this is controlling the flow of water, and the water is going in the upward direction. Then this is the orifice meter setup, suppose, and this is a venturi meter setup. So the water is flowing through these two pipes also. So I am showing these two pipes flow. But if you are taking the reading for orifice meter, then close this wall, okay, this wall, and open only this wall, so that all the water will be flown through orifice meter and it will be sent to this collecting tank. So at that point, measure this H value, that is the difference in the mercury levels, and this value you can put in the equation of Q which we have derived in this lecture. Okay, that is Q is equal to under root 2 GH A CD into A naught A1 divided by under root A1 square minus A naught square. So that is the value which we can use with the help of this manometric difference. Then when the water is collected in this particular tank, then use the value of A, that is area of this collecting tank, into H divided by T. So how to take this H? Suppose if the water reaches this level, okay, this valve should be closed while taking the reading. Suppose the water has reached this level, start your stopwatch. Okay, after starting the stopwatch, suppose when it reaches here, just stop the stopwatch so that you can get that this is the height. Okay, so that is, you can write this is H. Suppose the reading you have started at 30 centimeter and you have ended at 50 centimeter. So 50 minus 30, this H value will be 20 centimeter. And corresponding to that 20 centimeter, you will get some time, because you have started the time at 30 centimeter and you have stopped the time at 50 centimeter. So you will get the value of T. And in this way you will get actual discharge. So you can also calculate this actual discharge, and this actual by theoretical discharge can give us the value of coefficient of discharge. So this is the way in which we are conducting the experiment for a for the orifice meter and also for a venturi meter. You can also, with the help of this particular valve, you can adjust the flow rates. So we can measure for various flow rates, we can measure the value of discharges through a orifice meter. Okay, so thank you all for attending this lecture. Kindly subscribe to our YouTube channel for receiving more and more videos related to fluid mechanics and fluid and turbo machinery. So thank you all. Thank you.